Police security to the residence of Saitam CEO. Police investigate shooting. Speaker not pleased over the violation of standing orders.
තාවර නියෝග කරලා මට අලුත් සම්ප්‍රදායක් ඇති කරන්න බෑ. මම මේ පුටුවේ ඉඳගෙන මට ඒක කරන්න බෑ. ආනාගේ පුටුවේ ඉන්නකොට මටත් මේක හරියට කරගන්න කරුණාකර අවස්ථාව දෙන්න.
Tensions in Parliament over an issue surrounding sand.
මම කරු ඉඩම එතුමාට කියනවා මේ ඉඩම් ගැන විස්තර දෙන්න එපා. මොකද මූ හදන්නේ තව කපන්න. මම අහුවේ එක ප්‍රශ්නයයි. ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ මොකද්ද? රංජන් රාමනායක කළු ගලක් ඉල්ලලා ලියුමක් LRC එකට දුන්නද නැද්ද කියලා. කායේ බහුතර ජනතාව දන්නවා. මම ඒ වගේ හොරකම් වැලි කැපීම් මැටි කැපීම් සම්බන්ධ නැහැ කියලා.
Attention drawn towards selecting American-based TPG to invest in Sri Lankan Airlines.
A very good evening to you and welcome to your primetime news. I'm Nicola De Zoiza.
And I'm Shreyan Silva. Let's now take a look at your stories in detail.
A police security detail has been provided to the residence of Saitam CEO Dr. Samira Senaratne. While investigations continue over the shooting aimed at him last night, law enforcement is yet to make an arrest.
Shots were fired at Saitam CEO Dr. Samira Senaratne at around 8 last night when he was heading towards his residence. His car was targeted by gunmen just 100 meters away from Saitam in Malabay. Dr. Senaratne says that two masked men in a motorbike opened fire at his vehicle. He escaped the shooting unharmed.
Two persons travelling in a motorcycle opened fire in front of me. I did not know what to do. Then they came towards the driver's seat and opened fire again. I ducked. I could not imagine what just happened. Ever since the court verdict was announced on the 31st, I have been getting calls from unknown persons. They want me to step aside from Saitam or my life would be in danger. I even received several letters of intimidation. Those were addressed to my residents in Saitam. The assailants were wearing full-faced helmets.
Three police teams have been deployed to investigate the shooting. Detectives say that 6 signs of bullet entry were witnessed in Dr. Senaratne's car and believe that a 9mm pistol would have been used in the shooting. 2 more bullets were recovered from the crime scene. The government analysts who arrived at the scene this afternoon obtained fingerprint marks as well. Dr. Samira Senaratne says that he received threats at different times.
These are the letters. Many such letters were sent to me. They warned me to step away from Saitam or I will be killed. The last phone call I received, it said that the devil was calling. I laughed and said that I would like to meet him. I do not know who that was.
Several persons, including the Minister of Health, expressed these views over the shooting of the CEO at Saitam.
This is a threat to the country, its leaders and to all of us, because this does not come off as us being democratic. It is the guns which are doing the talking. Persons who use guns for their discussions will receive an answer in the same way. Actions cannot be taken against such persons in a democratic way just because it's good governance. Therefore, the government has a responsibility to act swiftly on this matter. All of us in the government have experienced such incidents. Since we do, we have to eradicate this issue from the seed itself.
We should not take this incident lightly. As the government, we are very concerned about this incident and take quite severely. We have to find out who was behind this and who spearheaded this. Moreover, the government led by President will focus on the future threats that may arise in the future and take impartial steps accordingly and definitely look into whether someone has conspiratorially involved in this incident. Such kind of incidents can be regarded as possible threats posed against the head of state and other leaders as well. Therefore, we will work as a government on this matter.
This is nothing new. This has occurred in society in various forms. Various crimes are committed by various persons. Several underworld acts are being carried out. We are of the stance that this should be stopped. It is also clear that such acts of crime are carried out with the aim of putting the current government into trouble.
He is threatening for even President's life, even Prime Minister's life, even Ministers, MPs, everybody's life, VIP's life in this country. So I think government has a responsibility to immediately take action against who is these unidentified gunmen and who is these people. Is there anybody behind these type of activities? So we have have to bring them to the front of the law and order. So I really condemn and I ask government to take immediate action against this incident.
The shooting targeted at the CEO of Saitam was raised in Parliament today as well.
If shots were fired at an official from Saitam, this can be interpreted in many different ways. Some might even say that this was done by those who oppose them. Various statements have already been made. Therefore, Honourable Speaker, as this is a serious matter, an immediate investigation must be carried out and a report must be presented to Parliament.
Police is investigating this matter. We too would like to know what the reason for the shooting was. All we know is that a shooting had taken place. We will call for the police report by this week and ensure that the country is informed of this.
Dr. Neville Fernando, the chairman of Saitam, speaking to reporters along with his staff, made the following statement.
I went to the BOI and met Mr. Dhammika Perra, who was the chairman of the BOI at that time, and he approved my project. He said there are two conditions. One is that I must affiliate Saitam with a foreign recognized university, and other one was to get health ministry approval. I did both that. I find the MOU which is still in existence, and approval was given for health science. And when I started Saitam, there was a series of protests by the GMA, JVP and others. Various allegations were made, and the then Minister of Health, the present President, Maithripala Sirisena, appointed a 5-member committee with Dr. Ruberu, who was the Secretary at that time of the Ministry of Health, as the chairman. And he is the cause of all the trouble today. As a surgeon, he should have known that health science means a lot of things. It covers medicine, it covers dentistry, it covers physiotherapy, it allied health services. And because of his not doing what it really meant and made a wrong statement, our institution is going on through all this agony. Saitam was started not because I wanted to make money. If I wanted to make money, I would have started a casino.
A tense situation arose in Parliament today over sand mining in Divulapitiya. Heated arguments were exchanged when Ranjan Ramanayaka attempted to respond to a question raised by MP Indika Anuruddha that was incidentally posed to the subject minister.
Divulapitiya asked,
how many lands does the state own in Divulapitiya electorate? It will be tabled and the people must be informed. Divulapitiya has been destroyed. The Minister of Lands and the Deputy Minister of Lands can respond to that. A Cabinet Minister can also respond to that. In addition, the Leader of the House or the Chief Government Whip can respond to that. How can Deputy Minister who has no relation to that respond?
Understanding Order number 27, it is often handed over to the Leader of the House or the Chief Government Whip. I handed it over to Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayaka.
This is a timely question. The entire Mirigam area in Gampa district has been destroyed by the illegal sand miners. Today a question is raised on how many state lands are there in the Divulapitiya electorate. They want to mine even more. I cannot create a new culture violating the standing orders. I cannot do that while seated here. Allow me to respond first. I will provide an opportunity to respond.
So let him go and reply.
Shall we continue with the proceedings? This has been made a joke again. Do not do so. I will provide an opportunity and it can be discussed. I will respond and Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayaka will assist. There are 924.3615 hectares of state land in the Divulapitiya electorate. It was Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayake who yelled over this. He has requested for the black rock in Divulapitiya to be given to his supporters who assisted him. I tabled this letter. He had made the request submitting a large number of names. Excavations have been done and the entire environment has been destroyed. The rogue is asking where the remaining lands are. I urge the Minister of Lands not to release the details of these lands. My name has been mentioned and an accusation has been made taking refuge within the provisions of parliamentary privileges. I asked only one question. Did Ranjan Ramanayake submit a letter to the LRC requesting for a black rock? The people in the country know that I am not involved in such acts. I urge that the assets of Indica be checked. It will reveal everything.
That's not a point of order.
The document that has been submitted is a false document. Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayake made note of that. We need to send the document to the government and let's to check if it is true or not. I have directed it to Minister Kabir Hashim. It is clear in that as I have requested for an access road for the mine in Dambuakamde in Kopivatta, I have not made any unnecessary request. I respectfully make a request from the Speaker. He said that I am involved in that business and that I have made such a request. My name is not connected anywhere. Therefore, I accept the challenge. If proven, he must resign from his parliamentary position.
The parliamentary group of the ruling party convened under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena last night.
The meeting, which was held at the President's office around 8 last night, was attended by a group including the Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers and parliamentarians from the ruling party. The meeting mainly focused on parliamentary affairs.
There is no issue. It was just a group meeting about Parliament. No, there is nothing of that sort yet. We will see. No, nothing was spoken of. This was our group meeting. We discussed about next week's parliamentary affairs. The dinner reception was the significant thing which happened. Usually there isn't a dinner reception for a ruling party meeting. No, nothing of that was spoken of. Today is special because the parliamentary group of the United National Party and Sri Lanka Freedom Party met after several months. Solutions for a lot of issues were found. We have decided we will convene every month as the ruling party, devoid of any difference between the UNP and the SLFP.
Questions were raised when Parliament convened today on presidential advisers. During the session, it was revealed that the former president had 106 advisers. There are no advisors or coordinating officers. The president has appointed just 4 persons as his advisors. However, we see it being reported on media that project officials and coordinating officers been appointed to all districts.
I'm not aware on what media reported such things. I think the member has forgotten that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa had 106 advisers and staff.
Was there no one who has passed grade 8 in the presidential secretariat to compile this list?
We know who have not even passed grade 8. There are persons within the chamber too.
Speaker, I have no more questions to ask him because his answers are baseless.
Speaker, I will answer his question. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa had spent around 92,563,998 rupees on his advisers and staff. Now it's over 11,968,094 rupees.
Information has come to light that the Presidential Secretariat owes a sum of over 110 million rupees to the national carrier Sri Lankan Airlines for air travel undertaken during the regime of President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The expense must be borne by the Presidential Secretariat under the President's expenditure heads.
A sum of 113.4 million rupees is owed to Sri Lankan Airlines for 10 trips undertaken during Mahinda Rajapaksa's presidency. This includes the airfare for 2 trips to Tirupati undertaken in the run-up to the January 2015 presidential elections. According to invoices dated the 18th and 31st of December 2014, the amount owed for the trips to Tirupati is in excess of 3.9 million rupees. An invoice dated the 9th of March 2011 indicates that a sum of 35 million rupees is owed for the chartering flight of UL 10812 for a return trip from Colombo to Johannesburg in South Africa. Invoices for the 20th of October and 10th of November 2014 showed that the airline is owed a sum of more than 50 million rupees for the charter of flight UL 4571 for return trips to Rome and Milan in Italy. Furthermore, a sum of 28 million rupees is owed for the charter of flights UL 001 and UL 4111 on the 10th and 15th of December 2014 for trips to Kathmandu and the Maldives. Incidentally, a majority of the trips comprised of large groups including family members, officials and friends.
Deputy Minister of Public Enterprise Development Eran Wickramaratne says out of the companies that bid for the restructuring of the national carrier Sri Lankan Airlines, US-based firm Texas Pacific Group or TPG has been proposed as the most suitable partner for the project. However, the Deputy Minister said that a final decision is yet to be reached.
The government recently called for investors to operate Sri Lankan Airlines and Mihin Lanka under a public-private partnership. Peace Air with Sri Lankan affiliations, Maldivian-linked supergroup partners and US-based Texas Pacific Group or TPG were shortlisted from a group of 10 bidders. The special committee appointed to select a suitable bidder has proposed an investor.
3 companies gave proposals, and now there's a recommendation for us to have discussions with one of the companies. The company that has been recommended is internationally known private equity firm. They have experience in investing in airlines, and therefore we will have discussions with them. We are open. We have no closed agenda on this. We want to do what's best for the airline. We want to do what's best for the citizen and the consumer in the country.
Transactions in the stock market show that Texas Pacific Group has already made several investments in Sri Lanka. According to an article published in the business supplement of the Daily Mirror on the 15th of August 2014, majority shares of Union Bank of Colombo PLC had been bought under the firm Culture Financial Holdings Limited, an affiliate of TPG. It is believed to be the biggest buyout deal by a foreign party. When studying the 2016 third quarter financial statements of Union Bank, it appears that TPG owns 70% of its shares. Meanwhile, NDB's financial reports for the third quarter last year indicates that Perpetual Equity and Union Bank together have purchased 2.73% of shares. On numerous occasions, Newsfirst highlighted the similarities between the addresses of Perpetual Equity and Perpetual Treasuries owned by the son-in-law of former Central Bank Governor Arjuna Mahendran. The people of the country nor a single trade union has been informed as to what company has been selected and what the conditions are. Due to the failure to disclose these information, we suspect that this restructuring process is being carried out secretively. One company has come forward to purchase the national carrier with the money swindled from the massive central bank bond scam. If Sri Lankan Airlines is to be vested upon a company using the money of the bond issue, we tell the government that we are strongly opposed to it. If the government is preparing to carry out these activities devoid of any transparency, we at the Sri Lanka Nidahas Sewaka Sangamaya are ready to launch a massive struggle against it.
Parliamentarian Vimal Weerawansa, who was arrested and remanded over the misuse of state property, was further remanded until the 20th of this month, when he was produced before Fort Magistrate Lanka Jayaratne today.
The second accused in the case, former Deputy General Manager of the State Engineering Corporation, Samantha Lokuhannadige, was also remanded until the 20th alongside Weerawansa. The magistrate also noted that a decision on his bail request will be delivered on that day. The magistrate also ordered the FCID to present a report to court on the measures undertaken by the 2 former chairmen of the State Engineering Corporation, including Ashu Singer, with regard to the 40 vehicles said to have been misused by Vimal Weerawansa. Detectives also presented facts to court over 3 vehicles provided to former Deputy Minister Lasantha Alagiyawanna. Meanwhile, a person who allegedly behaved in contempt of court when Vimal Vedavansa was presented to court on the 24th of January accepted his crime today. Fourth Magistrate Lanka Jayaratna handed a 1.5-year prison sentence suspended for 7 years to the accused.
A website created for the 14th UN International Vesak Festival to be held in Sri Lanka this year was launched by President Maithripala Sirisena today.
The launch was attended by the Mahasangha led by the Mahanayaka Theros. This year's theme of the UN International Vesak Festival is Buddhist teachings for social justice and sustainable world peace. The festival will be held from the 12th of May to the 14th in Sri Lanka. Meanwhile, the first law volume in Tamil language was presented to President Maithripala Sirisena by the Minister of Justice and Buddha Sasana, Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, at the Presidential Secretariat today.
President Maithripala Sirisena has appointed a 4-member committee to streamline operations at Lake House. A statement from the President's media division reads that the committee will be chaired by retired Supreme Court Judge Nimal Disanayaka, and the other members are Raja Premadasa, D.V. Dahanayaka and Attorney-at-Law Chandra Sirisenaviratna. The committee is to identify the shortcomings at Lake House, monitor its financial status and staff administration. It will conduct an investigation and will thereafter provide a report in 3 months.
Non-academic staff attached to universities have commenced an island-wide token strike citing 7 demands, including salary anomalies.
The University Trade Union Joint Committee demonstrated opposite the University Grants Commission this evening. They claimed that the government had failed to fulfill the promises made to call off the demonstration in 2016, which also took place, citing 7 demands. The University Trade Union Joint Committee says that non-academic staff across 15 universities have stepped away from their duties.
The Minister of Higher Education and the State Minister are making allocation, and it is stalled at the Ministry of Finance. We have a written promise for 460 million rupees. We ask why state universities are being treated in this manner.
Operations at universities were hampered as a result of this token strike.
A conference was held at the BMICH today to mark Safer Internet Day by the International Computer Driving License, or ICDL, Sri Lanka. The conference, held for the 3rd consecutive year, was held under the global theme Be the Change, Unite for a Better Internet.
With the aim of promoting safe.
The event saw the participation of heads of schools, government and private higher education and training institutions, and several private and governmental organizations from the ICT industry and members of the endorsing organizations. Dr. Ajit Madhurapperuma, chairperson of Sri Lanka CERT, graced the occasion as the chief guest.
Studies have repeatedly shown that young people have serious gaps in their knowledge of workplace ICT. The problem is even greater when it comes to IT security. Young people also tend to share a wide range of private information online, which they often later regret. Most of them, online threats could be prevented if young people were taught early on about the essentials of IT security.
You are watching News First, and up next is Action TV.
Having lost his right to education last June and having had to compensate for such loss through his friends, this individual made his way to the Kuliapitiya Central College today with a direction from the Human Rights Commission in hand. This student, who is scheduled to sit for his advanced level examination in August this year, is required to submit his application through this school prior to the 15th of this month. The student, his mother, who is also a teacher of the Kuliapitiya Central College, and the rest of his family were left destitute in the aftermath of the violence that took place in the area around the time of 2001 elections, also lost their home last July. Accordingly, since this student did not have a permanent residential address, he had been prevented from attending school since June last year and, as a result, had been forced to make several complaints to the Human Rights Commission. The principal of the school, who had been cited as a respondent in these complaints, had not presented himself before the commission over the last 6 months, despite notice being issued on him in this regard. Further to the efforts taken by the Human Rights Commission to resolve the issue, when the principal in question finally appeared before the commission on the 9th of January, the commission issued a direction on the 3rd of this month. However, the student was turned away today by the principal in violation of this directive. According to the observation of the commission, the principal denied the student access to the school after having forcefully obtained a letter from the student's mother as well. It is the commission's determination that the principal of the school had violated the provisions of the constitution by denying this student the right to education. The commission had informed the principal of the procedure that should be followed regarding the student on the basis that such be complied within 3 days. The commission had informed the principal of the procedure that should be followed regarding the student on the basis that such be complied with within 3 days. With the 3 days coming to end yesterday, the decision taken by the principal to turn away this student today is a blatant violation of the direction of the Human Rights Commission. Why is this principal, who is benefiting from public funds, being protected in complete disregard to the circulars of the Education Ministry? Is it because of his scant regard for the decision taken by an independent body such as the Human Rights Commission? Secretary to the Ministry of Education, this is over to you.
Well, that's a wrap of your primetime news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Nicola De Zoiza.
And I'm Sharon Silva. Take care and good night.